If you grew up on the North Shore of Massachusetts, chances are you've seen this woman's face pictured right here on a couple of billboards scattered around the area. This is Susan Taraskiewicz, and she was found dead in the trunk of her car behind an auto body shop near her job at Logan Airport. The case remains unsolved. This is The Search. Let's get into it. You like Good Times, Al?
I love Good Times.
Yeah. You want to tell the younger people about Good Times that didn't get to experience this place?
Good Times was, I don't know what's going on.
Diabolical time for a snap, by the way, off camera.
Snapping left and right.
Yeah.
It's like when you're a waiter in the service industry and someone snaps, it just like...
Oh, it rattles you a little bit. It shakes you up a little bit, definitely.
Good Times. Oh, wow. Good Times is probably the best place that I could think of. I mean, it's the first time I ever drank underage.
Really?
Playoff run, I would say like maybe 03.
Oh.
Yeah, 03
wow.
Playoff run. I think we ended up getting tossed by Aaron Boone.
Okay. Oh, the Sox.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was past. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Sox. It was
okay,
Sox game.
Gotcha.
But growing up there, you had everything you needed.
So for frame of reference, by the way, Good Times is in the back of Assembly Row, the front. I don't know what you would actually call that. Where the Home Depot is now, where Circuit City used to be. Wasn't it in that plaza?
I feel like it was across.
Was it across?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe it was across. Yeah, I don't. Again, the last time I was in there, I was 10.
Yeah.
So I can't really say. How's this? Fun fact: last time I was in there, Uncle Carmen brought us to. Were you with us that day?
Probably.
Brought us to wrestling.
No, I don't think I was there for that one.
I think it was just me, Nico, and Justin potentially, right? So he's like, oh, we got tickets to wrestling. I'm thinking it's the WWE. I'm like, oh my God, this is sick. And then he's like, yeah, it's Saturday at 1 PM. I'm like, isn't it on Mondays and Thursdays and sometimes Sunday nights? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is on Saturday afternoon? So he picks us up at like 12 PM, rolls us over. We pull into the Good Times parking lot, and it's like a local wrestling.
Yeah,
like North Atlantic Wrestling,
like the ones that go to Lynn at like Hibernian Hall.
The one that like Perry Saturn started in like 100 years ago. Yeah, that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like Dave from Malden and somebody else. Like it was just a shit show. There was like 20 people there, aluminum fold-out chairs, rowdy as shit. One kid had a sign. That was the last time. This might have been 2003. The last time I was there. But you want to talk about a place that had literally everything.
I mean, it was Dave and Buster's on like steroids.
And crack.
Yes, and crack.
Yeah, at the same time. Meth.
Yes.
At the same time, yeah.
The basketball court.
Chain fence.
Chain link.
Right. It was half court, right? Or was it a full
half court?
Half court. Okay.
Used to try to win a jersey.
Yep. Okay.
The best
Bowling.
laser tag.
Laser tag.
Everything was there.
Didn't they have go-karts too? They might have bumper cars or something.
I think they might have had bumper cars. I don't know if I remember.
Bunch of arcade machines, pool.
Yep. Everything. Legitimately
back when pool was hot in the streets.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I wish it was still around now.
What, like pool?
No.
Oh, you mean Good Times?
Good Times.
Oh, it'd be the best place on planet Earth. It'd be the best place on planet Earth.
I'll bring my kid to some of these places. You drop like $150 in like 21 minutes, and they don't even have 1/1000th of as much fun as we had at Good Times.
Like things to offer and do.
Yes.
You could be there for legitimately 5 hours and not. It was like the Museum of Science.
Days.
And not get bored of whatever. And then like parents would let the kids run around and like drink.
Yeah.
At the bar and shit.
Drink and everything, yeah.
Crazy.
You also had a very high chance of getting like stabbed.
Oh, you had a legit chance of getting into a beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Even if you were a kid with
kind of kept you on the edge though.
Yeah. Even if you were like a kid with like a grown adult.
Yeah. Something was going off.
Like a 40-year-old would fight a 13-year-old in Good Times. You know what I'm saying? Like that realistically is something that probably could happen.
That definitely happened.
That probably happened. So shout out to Good Times.
You used to even be able to smoke in there, so someone's probably got like a cigarette put out on them.
Oh, yeah. Right on their forehead?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're staying on the North Shore for this week's case.
I don't even know how you got into Good Times.
What do you mean?
I don't know how you just brought up Good Times out of nowhere. I wish it was back.
I wish it was back. Well, we've been doing like in the intro, like an old reference or a North Shore based topic. So
I'll talk about Good Times till I'm fucking blue in the face. So I love.
There's not a lot of pictures of it online either when you look it up.
It's just got that old like purple and yellow
sign. Yeah, I think it was right. Like I said, we're staying on the North Shore, obviously, for this week's case. This is a case where, by proxy, Al, I think technically of ones that we have done is the closest to you. West Revere. The billboard was there for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore,
No.
but that had to be there for how long? I mean, if you were driving,
time.
for anybody, for frame of reference here, if you were driving on, is it North Washington Street? The street that St. Mary's is technically on?
Yes.
Okay. All the way around the graveyard's on the right, and you're going into Chelsea by Newbridge.
Yeah.
It was right on that bend, right? There for a billion years.
Yep.
Susan Taraskiewicz is obviously who we're talking about. And I don't remember exactly where supposedly there was a second billboard. So I'm trying to remember where
I feel like there was one
on
on Route 1A. I mean,
that's
the
where
family
she-
tried to do a good job of like keeping her memory alive.
Well, they did. We're talking
I
about
definitely
it.
have seen Susan Taraskiewicz's face more than several of my family members in my life.
100%. I've seen Susan Taraskiewicz's face more than Auntie Bernadette's. Is that fair?
No, that is 100%
No, that's
accurate.
what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
that's accurate, right?
That's definitely fair. Yeah.
And, yeah, I would say that. So it's one of those things where, like, growing up, again, you drove by it 1,000 times, and it was just a thing that you expected to see there all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So her family absolutely has done I don't know if they continued posting the billboards or whatever. I think they're down now. Because I
haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen him in a while, maybe a handful of years.
Just recently, like the 30th anniversary, like I think it was like a couple years back was the 30th anniversary.
I think that's when they might have like ceased advertising, if you want to call it that.
I mean, it's not cheap for a billboard.
No, I mean, they kept that thing up for a minute, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so they've clearly, I mean, here we are talking about the case. Clearly, they did a good job of keeping her memory alive.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely.
So the timeline is, Al, do you want to get into like her origin story, if you want to call it that?
Yes. She was born and raised in Saugus, Massachusetts. She graduated from Saugus High, 1983. Known as quiet, kind, artistic, and athletic. She was into track and roller skating. Roller skating in the 80s, that had to be huge.
She was probably ripping up Roller World left and right.
Yes. Think about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know, when did Roller World open? Well, we'll get
into that later. Next episode.
She loved cartooning. She was a huge fan of Snoopy. She even met Charles Schultz in California. She actually had a Snoopy medallion.
Thought you were going to say a tattoo. That would have been I mean,
I don't think she got a tattoo, but actually when she passes, I'm pretty sure Charles Schultz drew a special Snoopy for her, and they put it on her tombstone.
Get out of here! Are you serious?
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but
it's very sad. But that's a very nice gesture. I didn't know that. Wow.
So
that's crazy.
I guess he remembered her, or the family reached out.
She clearly, clearly. Yeah. So
she was close with her parents, Ron and Marlene, and her siblings. Mm-hmm. You can get into her work if you want to.
So she was. She worked at Logan Airport, hustler. She was grinding it out at Logan Airport. And I think she did something in like operations, I don't want to say management,
so she actually
but like
started
supervising.
as she legit started as a bag carrier, like a bag hauler. She worked for Northwest Airlines at Logan Airport, became the first female ramp and baggage supervisor. So she climbed up. It's a male-dominated job. She's the first woman.
It's a very physical job.
However, she was like reportedly like the people that she worked with weren't very happy about that.
Right.
Thought she was like a goody two-shoes, and like they basically essentially tortured her while she was there.
Right.
All this types of harassment and all that stuff that went on.
Yep.
Several workplace harassment. Her locker was vandalized. They left like crazy pictures in her thing. One of like a coffin with her name on it.
Yeah,
they like putting on the bathrooms like she likes to blow people. Sorry for the the vulgar language, but all the shit that you would, just the worst of the worst. All these guys basically bullying her.
Yeah, it's definitely a sad thing to like read about when you're like, this is a really tough.
Yeah,
like,
it's just tough.
You think like if you had a daughter, I think of like my sisters, like in that situation, I'd just be like my skin would crawl,
And the craziest thing is she never really like opened up to her parents too much. They found a diary like a year later is where they kind of unlocked a lot of the stuff.
Yep.
So she kept it to herself. She was a big church girl. She always went to church. She was involved in her church where like a newer church up in Danvers, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Christian church. And she would like, why can't I think of the word? Volunteer,
yeah.
Volunteer to help out and all that stuff. So she seemed like she was just a good girl. Kept her nose like kind of clean in a way, you know what I mean? Like all she wanted to do was work hard, loved God, and just a good girl.
She was cool. She seemed like she was just a great chick. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you see the picture of her, she looks like just the most average, nice girl you've ever seen in your life.
Looks like any girl, like think of a picture of a girl from the 80s.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like copy and paste girl from 80s. It's this, and it was the same picture of her with the flowers on every billboard, right?
Yep.
So now we're going to jump to September 12th, 1992.
Yep.
So she's she's working an overnight at Logan, and she leaves the terminal alone in her 1989, I believe it's a Toyota Tercel.
Toyota Tercel, yes.
They don't make them anymore.
They don't.
Nope.
Like a Corolla, a little more like a hatchback looking one, very boxy looking. If you want to look one up.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
probably had 350,000 miles on it because they were just built different back in the day. Those Toyotas.
Built different. I mean, it was only 4 years old, so unless she was just like really traveling like.
Well,
crazy,
no, I'm saying like that car probably would have
It's
lasted her till 2007.
Yes.
Because think about it, when we were kids, how many old Camrys did we see driving around? It was like
All
the
the time.
car to see driving around.
There's plenty of cars
Still.
that are like that. Yeah, so 11 o'clock, she arrives at work. She begins her overnight shift. She always worked from like 11 to 7 was her shift. She works with the same crew pretty much that she always works with. This is the same crew that's been giving her trouble, kind of terrorizing her a little bit. Midnight to 12:30, she's doing standard like supervising tasks, cargo duties. No unusual activity is noted from any of her coworkers. 12:30, she goes on a sandwich run. Now, there's conflicting reports whether this was like a nightly sandwich run, like she always went and got sandwiches for them, but she collected money. That was found in her car later on, the money. So it seemed like she never goes and actually gets the sandwiches. Where she is supposed to be going to pick up the sandwiches, Beachmont Roast Beef. You know Beachmont Roast Beef over in Beachmont.
R.I.P. That place was around forever.
I mean,
How many times have you ended up at Beachmont Roast Beef?
Beachmont Roast Beef, to talk in sports terms, was back in the 90s, was throwing 100 on the black.
Right.
Like it was like, I know that the roast beef sandwich has gotten elevated as time went on. There's certain places that are doing things, a little top notch now.
This is like Nolan Ryan.
This is Brad Pitt in its height for you girls. Like, just think of how hot Brad Pitt was. That's what Beachmont.
Think of like 95 Brad Pitt.
95 Brad Pitt. That's what Beachmont Roast Beef was.
Yep.
So people are like, why is she going out to eat at 1 o'clock? Like, why are they getting sandwiches at 1 o'clock in the morning? Well, A, she's working an overnight shift, and B,
Beachmont Roast Beef is one of the only places open at that time.
Yes, they were open very late.
That was their signature thing. They were open really late, weren't they?
So she drives that sky blue Toyota Tercel over there.
Which, by the way, for anybody not from the North Shore listening, this is not a far drive from Logan Airport.
No, I mean, I would say probably 10, 15 minutes.
10, 15 minutes.
Only because you're going through the airport. I mean.
That's it. I mean, then you go 1A to Eastie, you jump right on.
Yeah,
it's not far at all.
It's a pretty close
This
ride.
is not a far drive.
So some workers did later say that she did seem tense before she left. But there's no, like we said, there was no, she was doing her normal stuff. She didn't seem like she was out of thing, but they did say she seemed a little tense. I mean, that's just something to keep in mind. You can get over to the early morning now.
You want to talk about between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.?
Yep. Okay,
so she does not, this is September 13th, technically, the later that same, well, early that next morning, you could say, right?
Yep.
She does not return to work. Her coworkers claim she, quote unquote, never came back, but they do not report her missing.
Yeah, so she doesn't come back to the airport at all. She's not seen on any type of like surveillance or anything like that. Coworkers don't like get nervous, even though they're sitting there. Where's their sandwich? Where's their money? They gave money to this girl. Apparently they didn't. Like, where's my sandwich?
Right.
Like, do you think that they'd be hungry? Like, where is
no
she?
cell phones at this time either, obviously.
No cell phones. At least one, like, coworker, they say, makes like a dismissive remark, which, what is the dismissive remark? What does that mean? I mean, this is the thing. You know how people talk. They gossip,
Sure.
What did she say? But it really isn't much there. 1 to 6 a.m., Susan's car is not seen, obviously, at the airport. Investigators believe that she was killed shortly after she leaves the airport.
Okay.
Co-workers say she never came back. They don't report her missing, but someone decides to punch her out of work.
Okay.
So someone punches her out of work at a later time than when she was already either dead or missing when she never came back. After that time, I don't have a specific timestamp on that, but one of her coworkers did. Now, was it a friendly coworker that was just trying to cover for her? That's possible. Was it something more nefarious? I guess that's also possible.
Yeah. Right.
But we don't really know.
No.
Yeah, but just an odd fact.
Probably not going to either.
Yep.
It's one of those things. Her body is found behind, now this is Route 1A, okay? So for those not familiar, Route 1A is you kind of got to cut through either Bell Circle or, what would it be? Down like North Shore Road?
Are you saying coming from Beachmont Roast Beef? Or are you
Sure,
saying,
like if you're just coming down or
well,
north.
it's basically the road that leads, to the airport.
Directly to Logan Airport,
Yes.
right.
It's the way with the Orient Heights Monument right
Yep.
there. There's a Starbucks there now in the corner. All the way straight down, there's the Esquire Club.
Which is where she was.
We're talking back in the day, Esquire Club. It's not there anymore.
It's something.
but
It's called something else now. And then
Yeah.
I think it was the Airport Diner back in the day, right?
That's
Wasn't
a
it?
little further up, yes.
Okay.
So this is like Esquire Club and the Bravo Auto, which is now a Top Auto. They actually find her at this Bravo Auto.
Right.
Is where her
Well, they
car's
find her
parked.
body in the trunk of her car behind this auto body shop.
Yes.
Correct?
So police are called. Basically what happens is a mechanic shows up, right? Mechanic shows up and is like, why is this car in my lot? I don't have this on my, I don't know that I'm supposed to be fixing this car, and why is it parked in an odd way?
Right.
And so he's like, this is weird. We don't have this. They do see like a red liquid coming from the trunk. They assume that it's blood, obviously, which it is. Revere police show up on the scene, and Susan's body is obviously discovered inside the trunk. The officer who opens the trunk, now, there's conflicting reports over who opens the trunk. They don't know if it's Revere PD. Some people say it's Everett PD. Some people say it's Massachusetts State Police who opened the trunk. There's confirming reports that Officer John Butts of the Revere Police Department opens the car. Now, the only reason why I'm mentioning that is because on a podcast once, the mother did say that one of the cops that opened the trunk was related to one of the people that she worked with at Northwest. So she
Okay.
didn't like that. So that's why I'm mentioning that there is some type of theory around that there is some type of collusion between an officer.
Well, that's
that
like with
arrived.
almost every case we talk about.
Yeah.
There's something
but
there,
but
right?
again, that could be nothing.
Absolutely.
But
Could
it's
be a
just one of those
coincidence,
things. So, I mean, did the mother ever name the officer who was related? No, she never names that personally. It's not in any police reports we could find or any grand jury testimony or anything like that. So we don't really have much to go on that.
Right.
Cause of death was obviously stab wounds,
Multiple stab wounds, yep.
front and back, and blunt force trauma.
No sign of sexual assault. And like I said, investigators believe the murder occurred, elsewhere, and the car was abandoned hours later.
Correct. So they don't know. Well, we do know that she never picks up the sandwiches.
Yeah, like
I believe that's how they're actually, some of the coworkers are alerted. Like I think the sandwich shop calls over and is like, because if they have a standing order, sandwich shop calls over and is
yeah,
like,
you
hey,
never know, they might have stuff ready to go for
Yeah,
people.
it's
It's
been
all
ready.
the Logan people
Yes.
call at this time, the
it's
night
been
shift
ready
people,
type
right?
thing. Like where are you guys? 'Cause
Right.
again,
The
they're
same
not
girl
calling
comes to
someplace.
pick it up all the time. Like it's absolutely. A lot of restaurants, anybody that does catering, even sometimes like they'll have that shit where they're like, oh yeah, I do. I know Halftime Pizza does it for like the Amazon drivers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a thing like that.
Standing orders are a thing in everywhere. Every profession.
Everyone does that, right?
So they find her there in the trunk of the car, which is kind of a sad scene in general.
Yeah.
That,
No, it's yeah. Now investigation developments start to focus on obviously her co-workers at Northwest Airlines.
Yeah, so we're co-workers at Northwest Airlines. We can get into some of like the harassment she faced and a couple of the people that like they said were the worst of the worst in terms of it. One of the people that she worked with was this guy named Joe Nuzzo. Buzzy was his nickname, which is weird because I have an aunt that calls me Buzzy, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
He was a job as a ramp worker, baggage handler. He worked under Susan. She was supervising him. Basically, he's never charged with anything to do with her death whatsoever.
Yeah.
There is a grand jury that does try to place blame on him, but they never actually bring not a conviction, a charge to him on anything.
And that's like I said, if
he does serve federal prison time for a credit card theft scheme that we'll get into in a little bit.
Sure.
Has nothing to do with the homicide. So,
right.
Basically, he had hostile behavior towards Susan his entire tenure. He's part of that male crew that was like just repeatedly harassing them. He frequently ignored her instructions, which that's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's
a lot of people are insubordinate at work.
A lot of people, and also like one thing doesn't make you another thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so at one point, Susan sees him get into a fight with a couple of the male coworkers, I believe, in the break room. Mm-hmm. He beats the bag out of a couple people, one guy. It's kind of conflicting, and he ends up getting like suspended for a little bit. He, in that time that he gets suspended, or which is crazy, he didn't get fired, but he gets suspended and he has to leave work for a bit. Susan's car's getting keyed up. Her car's tires get slashed multiple times. Prank phone calls are coming to her house like, you're a dirty cunt, all this stuff, saying to her, pretty much going crazy on her, basically like blaming her for that situation because she happened to be there. Obviously, her boss was coming like, what happened? Well, Joe and this other guy got into a fight. Mm-hmm. So he was blaming her for it and was just terrorizing her.
Right.
Prank calls, the whole nine, doing all that. Obviously, he was one of the people that it's insinuated that he's one of the people that were putting the coffin picture in her thing, writing all the stuff on the walls. They'd say that he was the ringleader pretty much of this harassment towards Susan.
Right.
So he was federally convicted. We can get into a little bit of that. Participating in the scheme where baggage handlers were stealing like credit cards, essentially. So this all ties into, or people feel it ties into this credit card scheme ring.
Right.
And basically there was a bunch of baggage handlers that were doing it, and they were stealing millions of dollars. We're not talking small money at all. Mm. They were taking credit cards, stealing luggage, selling the luggage, making purchases on the credit cards, forging licenses so they can make the purchases, and selling whatever they were doing. And they were also selling the credit cards to people for like 1/10 of what the balance was. So say the balance was $50,000, they were getting $5,000 for that credit card.
Right.
This was at a time where balances were a little bit more lenient.
Egregious, yeah, yes. Lenient, yep, absolutely.
So we're not talking small peanuts here. You're talking millions of dollars was stolen, and he ends up getting wrapped up into this later on by grand jury testimony.
Yep, and then
how big was this? Was this like one crew that was doing it, or was
so they
this
say
part
it was
of a
roughly
larger...
10 Northeast employees. So about 10 of them were doing it. So it was a pretty big ring, and it was just a bunch of the bag handlers was stealing a bunch of different things.
Sure, it's happened at other airports.
Oh, it's a classic scheme.
There was a thing that happened a lot back in those days because it was so much harder to track credit cards and shit. It happened a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So investigators suspected at the time that Susan either knew about the theft ring or that the group thought that she knew about the theft ring. This is some of the reasons why they felt to look at Joe Nuzzo. Yeah. One of his associates was Bobby Brooks. We'll get into Bobby in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Why did he have a grudge towards Susan? He just hated her for getting promoted over him, and some of the other guys felt the same way. Obviously, he did all that stuff with the harassment, and that he held a personal grudge, and they felt like she was too much of a goody two-shoes, and that she was the reason why they were getting in trouble for the theft ring, because stuff started to like kind of close in on them. And he actually gets fired, I believe completely let go on August 13th. So about a full month before she goes missing. So he wasn't working there on the day of her disappearance.
Right.
The only thing I will say is that where the body is found is by that Esquire Club.
Yep.
The Esquire Club was like, it's kind of a dive bar. Think of it as a dive bar.
A swan dive bar.
Swan dive bar that was known where a lot of people from Northwest Airlines hung out. Susan had been there in the past with other Northwest Airlines co-workers. Yep. Nuzzo and a couple of those other guys that harassed her did frequent this place, the Esquire Club. So proximity to where the body was found, he has been there in the past.
Right. Now, you're going to, are we going to jump to 2002? Did you have anything before that?
Yeah, we can get into. How about we get into Brooks? Now,
Sure.
Brooks is this other guy. So Brooks was one of the other guys. Now, he wasn't involved in so much of the harassment of Susan because he didn't really have much interaction, maybe 1 or 2 times with Susan because their periods didn't really overlap as much.
Yeah.
Like,
Susan's side by side with her every day.
But there was an incident in the break room where he loses his cool at one point and smashes her radio speakerphone and kind of loses his mind on Susan. They don't know why or what provoked him to do it, but it was written up that he did smash her phone radio and was, threatening physically to her. You know what I mean? Now, why do we care about Bobby Brooks? Well, Bobby Brooks lied to the grand jury about this case so what happens is they start obviously investigating Nuzzo for the credit card stuff. Mm-hmm. They start investigating this ring in its entirety. They get to Nuzzo, and they start putting the pieces together about Susan. Because once they find those diary things, they know that the harassment, Nuzzo's named in it, Brooks is named in her diary. So those names were in the diary of certain altercations that might have happened. So they look at Nuzzo for the Taraskiewicz thing. Bobby goes before a grand jury. Now they're looking at it's both for both cases. I don't know if it's 2 separate grand juries. It probably is. Mm-hmm. And he basically lies and says, he's never spoke to Nuzzo before. Maybe once they spoke on the phone. They don't really know each other that much. It turns out he talked to him at least 3 times. One time he talked on the phone for up to 22 minutes. What day do you think that was that he talked to Nuzzo for?
I'm going to presume the day before Susan went missing.
The day of her disappearance.
Okay.
He talked to him for 22 minutes. That's a crazy coincidence that you're lying about, that you say you never talked to this person and you just happen to talk for 20 minutes, which is not a small phone call.
Right.
That's a long phone call, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the day that a coworker goes missing and everyone's like, oh, she's missing, So this was big news. I mean,
this story was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
This information was public. It was,
and you know how people talk, they're gossiping. Did you hear what happened to this poor Susan?
Yeah, that was a big news was a lot of word of mouth, and when stuff was breaking on the news, this is the type of story that as things broke, they were like, hey, new update in the Taraskiewicz case. Yeah. So the media was heavily involved in this back in the day.
So basically in this grand jury, he was actually asked outright, what did Joe Nuzzo tell you about Susan's murder? And he's like, he never said that he never talked to him about the case, obviously. Mm-hmm. Because of this and that phone call on the day of, they do end up charging him with perjury, and he actually gets convicted of perjury, of lying to the grand jury. So Brooks does get caught up in this in a way. He gets arrested for perjury. So that's how he gets in trouble for this, but that's it. He's the only one that really gets in trouble for anything related to Susan.
Right. Directly related to the case.
Directly related to
Susan's case, right. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. Got you. Is there anything else, or are we going to jump to 2002?
Yep, we can jump to 2002.
So the FBI and Massachusetts State Police reopened various aspects of the case. Multiple grand jury sessions occur again.
Yep.
Right. And then, but there are still no arrests made.
Correct.
So a lot of, you could say conjecture.
A ton of conjecture.
Nothing to obviously concretely prove anything about anybody, named here or anyone else. That's not whatever. There's not enough proof to tie anybody really to anything related to Susan besides this Brooks fella with the perjury thing.
The Brooks fella with Susan, but it's really all about this theft ring.
Right. Right.
Where they all feel like it's all the people that worked under Susan, not all of them, obviously, but a good amount of them.
Right.
Because she was in charge of all these baggage handlers. They were the ones stealing the cards. They were the one, the cards are used for cash advances, retail purchases, all that stuff. $8 to $10 million is stolen under her watch. She already had problems with these people, and that's where it's all tying to in terms of where the investigators feel. Now, the investigators feel, they've said it outright, that they believe one of the people that worked for her did this to Susan. The mother feels this way. They all feel that it ties back to this ring. It's too much money.
It's also like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously the main thing you're going to look to as well.
Yes.
Like,
and Brooks did say in the grand jury testimony that Nuzzo did feel that Susan knew, and Susan was the rat.
Okay.
So Brooks admits to the fact that he knows that Nuzzo knew about the death ring, because Nuzzo actually testifies towards the death ring, and he says pretty much that Nuzzo knew about it. Nuzzo thought Susan knew about it, and he's made some comments in the time he gets fired and in the time before she gets
So
killed.
He indirectly, to a grand jury, implicated this other guy.
Implicates this other guy that he at least thought Susan was aware of it.
Okay.
And that she was the rat.
Okay.
That she was going to rat them out.
Because at that point, you're in theory, putting a motive on somebody else.
Yes. He's put essentially, yes.
To a grand jury.
Yeah, because it's not like, I mean, you could just say Susan had no clue what was going on. We were stealing this stuff. It's like, it's not, she's in her office.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to know. Like, that could be the way you'd get off of it. But yeah, he basically implicates the fact that, no, Nuzzo knew. Nuzzo knew and suspected her. He hates her anyways. There's a proven track record of that. There's the diaries. There's everything.
Right.
He basically throws Nuzzo under the bus without saying he did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is to a grand jury.
To a grand jury.
So.
And still.
This isn't to like the cop interviewing you at like.
Still no indictment, so I don't know. Right. It doesn't seem like there's any. I mean, this is before DNA.
Yep.
You know, I always, my benchmark for DNA is the O.J. Simpson case. Now, I know DNA existed before that.
Sure.
But I always think the first case that everyone heard about DNA was O.J. Simpson.
Well, the process was so crude back in
Yes.
at that time, so unrefined and relatively new.
How did a cop solve a murder in like before 95 is what I
Oh, I don't, dude. It's like, you want to talk about really earning the badge? I mean, those guys were like Sherlock Holmesing it.
I mean,
like it almost feels like with a fucking with a magnifying glass and a fine tooth comb is how they like solved shit.
How did you get anything to stick without?
I don't even know, man. Yeah,
I guess there's a different barometer nowadays because everyone's like, the first thing you think is like, well, what ties him to the scene?
Right.
You know, motive's only so far. Like, yes, there's motive, obviously.
Right.
I think everyone that's with a brain can say, okay, this dude, if that's true, if what Brooks is saying is true, now we're talking about a criminal himself. So now two bad guys are turning on each other, you know, is one guy just trying to save himself? So if what Brooks is saying is true, that Nuzzo knows, there is motive, right?
Right.
We do know that he doesn't like her. He has been torturing her for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll put a picture up to the picture that I saw of the literal coffin drawing with her name on it.
Oh, you did see that?
Was,
oh, wow.
Like,
yes.
Was kind of a bone-chilling image to see.
I mean, how is that not a death threat? That's a death threat. You put a coffin in someone's locker with her name on it.
Well, what else are you trying to say?
That's
yeah.
Like, what else are you trying to say at the end of the day,
like,
right?
Does she love octagons? Or,
yeah, yeah.
What shape is
it?
Halloween
Halloween and you're come on,
like
let's not be ridiculous
it's
here.
a
Like
chilling image knowing how this ended.
I can't believe she stayed at this job.
I know.
And I get it if you want to put your foot down and be like, I'm not going to be intimidated by people. Like, if that was her stance, I can't blame her for it. But
she probably felt a sense of pride that she rose so far. Like, she's the first female supervisor at that position. So she probably felt a sense of pride. She obviously did good work for her to rise like that.
And I hate to say it, and I don't want to make it sound, I'm not blaming the victim here, obviously. I'm not doing that. I'm saying, like, at what point does it become worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Is the juice worth the squeeze? At what point does it become worth it? I don't know entirely.
I mean, nowadays, like, if your daughter, like, this is the thing, she kept everything to herself. Like, if your daughter ever came to your house and was like, you know, I'm going through X, Y, and Z at work, first of all, you're probably going to the work yourself. But like, in general, you're like, get out of there. You don't need that.
Yeah.
You can make money any way you want to make money. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's not like she was working at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But even if she was, it's the same thing. It's like no job's worth that type of harassment.
Your life.
Yeah.
Well,
but even let's take that to the side, because I don't think anyone thinks in their head that that's going to lead to that. Like no one thinks.
Yeah, that's not
no
the
one
natural
puts that,
progression of things.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Exactly.
So your daughter's getting bullied at school. You don't think it's going to lead to her,
nobody does. Yeah.
getting murdered and stuffed in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't see that jump. But if she, I think that she just was so proud of her job. She was probably thought the best of people, because she is she goes to church. Seemed like she was a very nice woman. So she probably thought the best of people. I
just mentally can't even put myself there where it's like these people are just ganging up on me and fucking giving me a hard time.
It's the worst. The bullies.
But this essentially,
this is
absolutely.
obviously past that. Bullying somebody and
breaking somebody's balls is one thing.
Drawing coffins,
totally different thing.
Slicing tires, slashing them.
All different shit.
She must have been tough as nails.
I was gonna
100%.
say, that's a different breed right there. Where it's just like, I mean, you want to sit there and weigh the pros and cons. Where it's like, dude, good for you for putting your foot down, sticking up for yourself. Sure. It's just obviously sad that it ended. However it ended, however means it ended, that it ended this way, obviously. And you're like, I go back to the question of at what point does it become worth it? Because we're talking about a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if it's ever worth it if it's gonna to that extent.
That's
obviously.
what I mean. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's one thing, you got rude coworkers. I mean, you got to work. People got to work with Jack every day.
Like
people have to work with Jack, so
right.
It's like I could see why
right.
People have shitty people they got to work with.
I get afraid to come here every day.
Yeah.
Every time we record this fucking show.
But the point, I guess, my question is like, where does it happen? Is she lured from the place? They obviously know, especially if she has a standing order, and some of these people used to work there. Let's go under the premise that someone at work does this. It has to be probably multiple people.
Maybe. I wouldn't say it has to be.
Okay, so let's just say it's one person. They obviously know her schedule.
Yeah.
They leave. So everyone that was at work is pretty much accounted for. So it has to be someone that's not working there at the time.
Right.
How do they know exactly when she's leaving? They follow her to the sandwich shop. She never gets to the sandwich shop. So at some point between A and B,
her car gets to where it was.
I'm assuming that she doesn't drive there. Or does she go and meet? And then that's where it ends up happening. Does she go and meet them at this place, thinking it's a friendly encounter, and then something happens? You know what I mean? So like, how does she get?
That's what.
How does she get from the airport?
Yep.
We're just assuming that she's going to Beachmont roast beef, but does she ever even drive there? You know what I'm saying?
Well, apparently no. The guy
she
said
never
no.
gets there. She never goes in.
So this had to happen.
So does she just drive right to Top Auto? Does something happen in between? Is something happen in the parking lot of Logan Airport?
Right.
And then they put her in the trunk and then they drive over there?
Yep.
Because the police think that she wasn't killed at Top Auto.
Right.
Or Bravo Auto, whatever
it was at the time, right, yeah.
They think she was killed elsewhere and brought there.
Yep.
So where was she killed? Where was she murdered?
Right.
I'll say that this is one of those cases that someone definitely knows something somewhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to think. Yeah, somebody always knows something.
Always knows something.
In any case, there's somebody that knows something. Obviously.
I guess my question would be: is why leave the body there, right in the open? American Legion Highway is the busiest.
Yeah.
Probably street in that area. Would you agree?
Yes.
It is a high traffic road. It is going straight down towards the airport. So it's like on the way to work. If you worked at Northwest Airlines, like why wouldn't you move that body elsewhere? Like why is that body there? It's on
the way to work for a lot of people.
It's almost like a taunting.
Yeah.
Outside of where like you guys used to congregate and drink beers and eat.
Right.
Like right outside of a club that everyone hangs out at. So why was it there? Was someone at the club?
It's somebody else's place of business also.
Did someone else, was someone at the club and another person comes?
I think obviously this happened.
There's a lot of questions.
I think it's safe to say it happened at Logan, and I think somebody drove her car there and left it there. That's what I'm surmising. Because it's like, other than that, like how does... She never makes it to Beachmont roast beef.
She never makes it because the money's still in the car. So
money's still in the car.
Money,
they never see her there. She never gets there.
Yes.
So this couldn't have happened that long after she left.
And what's up with the workers? Like you don't call somebody like she's not here. Like, where's my sandwich? Like that kind of pissed me off too.
Right.
That's what makes me think it has. Like if you assume that one of the workers did have a hand in this, or an ex-worker, someone inside had to have some type of inside knowledge of that. Because why was it almost like she was getting covered for in work?
Right.
Like, your boss isn't there. I mean, I guess, like, people are like, oh, cool, the boss isn't here. We can probably chill, right?
Yeah, but you got to think that's
but
on
she's
borrowed
supposed to be,
time.
You just gave this girl, let's just say you gave her $20 for a sandwich. I mean, those prices, maybe you gave her $5.
Literally.
In the
back
93.
in the day, yeah.
And aren't you like, where's my sandwich? I'm hungry.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. How come there was no alert, or it didn't seem like there was any panic in the place? There's no urgency whatsoever. Like, she didn't come back. And it's not something that's like on her record. Like, she didn't come back a lot. No, this is like a once.
She wasn't going for like a Sunday drive.
Yes, it's not like certain people, like, they disappear.
It's also like 3 in the morning.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just like it's like 3. Oh, maybe they.
Or
maybe
it's
they
like
banged
it's
out
not
of
like
work
it's
early.
3:30 in the afternoon and she got stuck in traffic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The roads are pretty clear at that time.
And how busy is an airport at that time?
It's
not that busy.
No, it's
not. A lot
not.
of flights are coming in earlier than that. There's no way that's a peak time of travel.
Right.
That would be the least amount of peak.
Right.
Would be at 1, 2, 3 in the morning.
That's for everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for everywhere. It's called
the
the graveyard shift for a reason.
It's not like I'm so busy, like, I didn't even notice. No, people did say they didn't notice.
Right.
I think one of like the interesting pieces of this one, it's very different than the other cases that we've talked about, right? Where people try to hide the body, they end up in the river. Like, you name it, this one was so blatant. Like, we don't care. Yeah. This was so hate filled that it was like, she's a problem. She's going away. We're just gonna leave her there. That's crazy. That's different. That's a different mindset.
I also agree with that in the terms of like the way she was killed, like blunt force trauma, stabbed multiple times. That's usually like stabbing is something that's like passion related in a way.
Yeah, I think they always say that's
it's not like it's like a professional job, like someone's just killing somebody. Like, that's one of those things where like you're up close and personal. That seems like a vendetta of some sort.
Sure.
To me. Anyways.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it's just like, all right, that's a professional hit. Like, people could say that. Oh, someone
clean and in and out, and there's not. Yeah.
That's dirty,
right.
down and dirty, doing like trying to inflict as much pain as you can.
Yeah.
To somebody.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Because then if you jump to, I mean, if we're going to between 2012 and 2016, these are the 20th and 25th anniversary press conferences that are held. Police publicly state that they believe the case is solvable, and quote-unquote people close to Susan's workplace know exactly what happened, which is obviously something that like anybody who knew anything about this case would surmise immediately. This is not like some hidden code that was decoded in some bit. This is a very obvious observation that anybody who reads anything about this case would be like, oh.
Yes.
That would be the first place you look, in theory, right?
It's crazy when you know. It's like you know what to look for. Mm-hmm. You know where to look. Like, the cops know what to look for. They know where to look, and they still can't make anything stick. Like, you know something happened at this workplace.
It's hard to get. It's hard. That's why it's hard to. The more serious the crime, the harder it is to.
They definitely know who did this. They just can't make it stick. That would be my opinion.
Maybe, yeah.
I think they have a good idea of who did it.
Well, I mean, they have
because of that statement.
Sure, yeah. I get that. Yeah, well,
most cops are more coy when they make statements. They would never say like someone in the workplace. They outright saying someone in the workplace did it.
Right. Yeah, I
mean,
they wouldn't
most
say that.
Most people are like, we don't know. You know, we're still searching all the leads. They're outright saying.
Yeah, I think we've seen much cagier police responses than this. This is very like blunt and straightforward.
Like, someone did it in that workplace. We know. We just can't figure it out.
Yeah,
100%.
and maybe that's where they're at, and it's one of these things where it's again 95%, 90%.
And what's up? But like Northwest Airlines did not have a great human resources department.
Clearly,
not like Torro Media.
No, if they even knew.
Yeah, so the family ends up suing Northwest Airlines.
Okay. Well, I meant like before. Like, did she ever file a complaint or anything like that?
It's proven that it was known from supervisors. They think that it gets proven in court pretty much that they think that her supervisors knew of a lot of the stuff that was going on. They actually passed her over a couple times for promotions. When she did say certain things to the upper supervisors, all of a sudden she had to clean toilets. They just made her start cleaning toilets, and she's like, "What kind of part of my job is this?" So she felt like that was punishment for saying something.
Yeah.
So they actually settle with the family. Northwest, is it Northwest or Northeast? Because now
West, I think it's West. Yeah.
Okay. They settle with the family. They give them, I believe it's like in the range of $75,000 to $150,000 settlement.
God, that's fucking.
And they agreed to pay $250,000 for a reward for anyone that comes forward with information that leads to a conviction.
That today would be like $25 million.
$250,000 is a lot of money. So it was
I'm saying like the lawsuit.
Oh yes, it would be way higher.
The settlement would be
75 to 150 is chump change. But
even back then, that's not.
Susan's family was more happy that they were like, okay, we're gonna also throw the 250 towards the reward.
Sure.
To give people, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were more happy about that.
It seems like they valued closure more than anything.
They didn't. It didn't. This isn't a money thing with Susan's family. They just want like people to. They obviously want the person that did this to like be brought to justice. So that $250,000 reward is still available to this day. So if you have any tips or anything like that, because the airlines actually got bought by Delta, and Delta, I think on the 30th anniversary, said that that's still when we bought North.
We're honoring it.
We're honoring it.
So
it's still there. So if anybody does know,
the $250,000 reward does still remain as of 2016.
Yes. So
that this is now the 30th and about to be the 30th anniversary.
It's still in.
Still honored, still grandfathered in.
So if you have any things, I would contact either Mass State Police or Revere Police Department and let people know. Like if you have any information, I'm sure there's an anonymous hotline you could drop a dime. There's ways to help if you choose to. You know what I mean? There's absolutely ways to help if you choose to.
I have it 2024. Yeah. Latest that I'm finding here. That's still active.
Because the 30th anniversary was 1993.
No,
2023 was the 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah, technically it was. You're right.
So it was like right after that, Delta said outright that they're still honoring it, obviously. Which was a good thing for Delta to do.
That's nice. Yeah, that's also chump change to them. So it's.
This seems like it could have. If with a better HR department, this probably doesn't happen.
This wouldn't happen today.
If you're under the assumption that someone at Northwest did this,
right?
Susan's probably still alive with a better HR department because some of the people that were probably involved or that you think might be involved wouldn't have been working there.
No, and I think this wouldn't have happened today. There's no way this wouldn't have happened today.
I bet you it happens in a less crazy scale. I think it happens more than you think. I think certain people people are scared to like go up, and then who knows? There's work. Think it happens all the time. There's lawsuits all the time for like harassment and all that stuff.
No, I meant like it doesn't get to the point that it got to today. Like you're saying, she would have either been reassigned.
Yeah,
somebody would have been fired.
I think again, this is another thing where it's like, they probably told you suck it up back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
now
dude.
It's like they have to be extra careful.
Well, she was a woman in a male-dominated field. You know what I mean? Not to sound like super PC and woke or anything like that, but it's obviously true.
We have a family member that said that he got fired or reprimanded because he called someone buddy.
Yes.
Do you remember that? So I don't know if that's an accurate statement.
Don't know how reliable the narrator is as well.
But at that point, it's like HR is over the top now, and that's probably a good thing in certain areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To be hyperactive is better than not be.
Because if something like this could happen, it's insane.
Because like I said, the lawsuit today is in the tens of millions for something like this.
Yeah.
Not 75 to 150 grand. That's a joke.
I mean, what would that be with today's inflation? You think that'd be like 250?
Jack?
What's 75 to 150 now?
Realistically, it's probably like 600 grand.
That's a lot of money. 600 grand. I'm saying
somebody's life though.
I know. This is like
something that like in theory could have been prevented, you think?
I think so. I think that a better human resources department would
be more hands-on with this,
Around 600K.
Really? He was right?
600K, yeah.
Wow, he's good. You know your inflation prices.
Yeah, they call me the helium pump, and I'm just inflating all types of shit. Wow,
so that is kind of big.
Why are you laughing at the nickname? That's what it's like a thing. It's
That
what
is,
they call
everyone
me.
calls
I don't know
him
if
that.
everybody says
that.
at like family parties and shit.
No.
Like, hey, what's up? No, but fucking what were you just saying? I don't know. This podcast.
600,000 is a big payment, but it'll never take back your daughter. And it's like if you just did your fucking job, Mr. Airline human resource person or supervisor, Susan would still be alive.
I think so. Unless you just get somebody who's hell bent on it.
Yeah, unless you just think it's a random person.
Yeah. Unless you're of that conviction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't seem to be in that conviction.
No, I don't think so either. I'm not in that. I'm in the same camp you are.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that Susan's family and the police at first thought that.
Yeah.
Until those diary things came out, and then they started peeling back what it was like to work at this airline during that time for a woman.
Must have been tough being her, man.
Yes.
Like it must have been tough being her. It's tough. I don't even think we need to go into like theories. We usually do theories to like end the episode and then the timeline. Did you have any other nooks and crannies to add to this?
Not really. I think that's.
It's pretty straightforward,
I think it's
right?
pretty laid out. I think
Yeah,
the
it's
cops
pretty
said it
laid out.
best.
The timeline's laid out.
I think the cops outright told you without telling you.
There's grand jury stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's all like there's public testimony and all types of shit. There's really nothing else to like. Is there even, like I said, I don't even think there's like a need to drop theories. It's like.
There's a lot of smoke.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I'm
there's
saying
a
like.
lot of smoke.
With the smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke.
No, but I'm saying like, if you read one article on the story, what else is there for you?
I think there's too much money involved.
Yeah.
There's too much history involved that it seems like it's pretty cut and clear to me. There's a lot of smoke. You're right. I need a gas mask. That's how much smoke's in this place.
Yeah, absolutely. We need Revere firefighter to get you a fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. That's the case. It's definitely, like I said, one that has stayed in the public eye here on the North Shore for most of my life.
Definitely.
Definitely most of my life.
Rest in peace, Susan.
Rest in peace, Susan, absolutely. I think that her family's done a great job of keeping her memory alive. They've stood by their principles.
Yep.
Their convictions. They clearly aren't people that like we're gonna just be like not bought, but like you know what I mean. Money wasn't the
They weren't gonna back down.
Yeah, but money wasn't what they were after in this situation. They just want kind of justice for her.
Hopefully someone on their fucking deathbed says something.
Gives his family some closure.
A little bit of closure.
You know what I mean?
If it were me, I would love to know exactly. You could have every thought in your head of who did it, why they did it. I'd like to know.
You got to think at some point, like whatever they got for settlement money, you wouldn't pay that to know.
I'd
want to know.
I think they trade that in a second.
The peace of mind is priceless. And
I think
not
that's-
peace of mind, but you know what I mean?
I think that
cathartic
settlement
closure
money,
is-
where did it go? It didn't go to a house. It didn't go to a boat. They put up billboards everywhere because that's all they cared about.
Yeah, these people,
So-
like I said, it was never about the money, but they were like, realistically, that's probably what they
Yeah.
used it towards when you think about it. Keeping a billboard up for 30 years, is not cheap.
And that's only the ones we know about.
Right.
There could be more.
Could have been more. Like I said, do we even need to get into theories? It's really about like where you think it happened. I think it happened at Logan Airport. That's really it.
You think that?
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think it happened at Logan Airport, and the car was put there by somebody.
Yeah, I think they take a shuttle over the work. I don't know if they did that back then, but I think they take like a 5 to 10 minute shuttle. So it like kind of takes a while to get in and out in terms of like I don't think her car's just parked in arrivals. I think they have to take a shuttle, like a 5 to 10 minute shuttle, like they shuttle all the passengers over. So I would love to know more from the shuttle driver or anything. Like what happens? Like does she get on the shuttle? Does she go back to her car?
Or a long-term Logan Airport employee.
Yeah.
Somebody who's been there for that long or around that time. If
just to let us
some
know,
operational insight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we'd love to know.
If you worked a graveyard shift, like what's like the routine of
what's it like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What is it like?
What terminal were you working at? Were you working at like a similar terminal?
Yeah, we would love to hear some some employee accounts. I'm sure this obviously got around the whole region. Would love to hear what people were talking about, how things spread or what terminal you worked at, airline you worked at. Were you a flight attendant? Were you a baggage person? The ticket check desk people, the check-in people, whatever. Doesn't matter. But yeah, we would love to know. And like I said, I don't need that. My theory is what I presented here.
Yeah.
That's pretty black and white, in my opinion.
I agree.
So, anything the producers want to add?
I would just say that I think the story kind of went, I mean, it's been cold, right, for a minute, but 2 years ago, The Deck, a true crime podcast, did an episode on this, and it pushed
did they really?
It kind of went national again. So
No shit.
Hopefully.
What is the Deck? Can you tell us more about that show? Shout out to them for doing the episode.
I can tell you more about The Deck once I figure out more about The Deck. I can't tell you that right this second.
What an interesting name. Is it a true crime podcast, presumably?
I think there's a few different ones. I think True Crime Garage did one.
Did they?
Yeah, they did like a two-potter, I think. There's a couple of them that started to do it that are national. I think True Crime Garage is pretty big, isn't it?
I'm not like, so my true crime podcast, like, range for me, I haven't looked into a ton of them, but like Morbid, Last Podcast on the Left.
Right.
Like the big ones I know about, but like there's probably 1,000 of them that are
I think
very
True
big,
Crime
and I don't know.
Garage is a very big podcast, and they did like a year ago or something. I think they did a two-potter.
No shit.
Yeah. So
Wow.
people are talking about it, so hopefully there's a little bit
talking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's clearly what.
This seems cool. The Deck is a true crime podcast from Audio Truck that features one unsolved case a week, similar to exactly what we're doing. And each case is linked to a playing card collectible campaign, cold case playing cards. And this one was the 8 of Spades.
Wait, hold on.
So they give out, the cold case, so they give out the cards, like kind of like the Army. Remember the Army? Like their targets were on like Osama bin Laden was like, I think the ace of spades. Like,
wait,
do you know what I'm saying? So
wait, hold on. I thought with the way he was just wording it was like they have like almost like a collectible thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they could probably give away the cards. Like if there's a whole set of, there's 52, I'm guessing, for a year.
How does it? That's interesting.
There's 52 cards in a deck, boys.
No, yeah, I get that, right.
Yeah, there you go. A full 52 card playing deck, victim's photo, their name, the year they were killed, short case, summary, tip line.
It's actually not a bad idea.
That's a really
No, it's actually a
cool-
pretty creative.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
cool.
Pretty awesome. What,
I'll have to check out the deck.
What she's
Yeah,
doing.
so that's why it's called the Deck. Oh,
Deck,
okay,
yes.
wow, good branding. I
we're gonna
like
have to
it.
look this up. It's Ashley Flowers. That seems like a really interesting way to do it. But the point of it was that podcast got more light on it, which I think is ultimately
Got you.
right, like what we're
But
trying
yeah,
to do.
other. This is a story but this isn't like a news story that we discovered. This has been like a
Yeah, and I think that it was on Unsolved Mysteries. Like it was.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think in like 95, 96 or something. It was on Unsolved Mysteries, which I mean, how big was that in the 90s?
that was like the show.
Yes.
That's like the
So-
original true crime show.
Yeah, I think
That's
that
even before like
this has a
Dateline,
lot
right?
of it has a lot of intrigue because of like where it took place
Mm-hmm.
in terms of and the credit card theft ring. Like there's a lot of different layers to this story
Mm-hmm.
that it drew national interest, 100%. So
Yeah.
that's great that they're doing that, and that's a cool thing with the deck. Of
That is a
cards.
cool thing
Yeah.
with the deck. Shout out to the deck. That's cool as shit, honestly. Yeah, I don't think, do we have anything else to add to this?
Nope.
I don't. Producers?
I just think that this one is like you kind of have to try to detach a little bit, right? If you're us, because like you have to go home after this. You don't want to be wicked upset thinking about all of this craziness that we talk about.
Well, you think about it if it's a family member of yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so you kind of do it for everyone. But this one, it's like, this sounds like my sister, like you brought up your sister, like getting bullied at work. Like this one kind of pisses you off.
It does. It does.
It
Hearing
definitely
more
does.
about it after the fact.
It absolutely
and
does.
like this one has a little extra something that kind of makes your blood boil.
Imagine you feeling like a man because you're bullying like a little petite girl at work. Like you're feeling like a big old fucking badass.
Yeah, couldn't be me.
And
Put
then
it to put it
hiding
politely,
behind
couldn't
it
be
now.
me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I wouldn't get caught, and not to for the pun intended, wouldn't get caught dead.
Yeah.
In that type of conflict, if you even want to call it that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Because I vent. What's the verbiage there?
Weak men.
I reach to call it that.
Yeah.
Conflict is more of a two-sided thing, I would say. One side, it's totally different.
And that's what it seems like.
So, with that being said, that's another episode of The Search. Thank you for tuning in. And as we said before, if you have anything to contribute to this case, the flyer was posted several times. The information will be provided down below. And hopefully, like I said, The reason people cover cases like this is to hopefully lead to something new. So that's another episode of The Search, and we will see you on next week's episode.